Is this the most disappointing season the 49ers have ever had? Thank you for doing these shows. They remind me of the convos I used to have with my dad.
No, I don't think so because there are the injuries,
Yeah.
and they will, in fact, win. How many wins they have now?
They have 6 wins.
So they could win 7 games. It stinks. But, how about Chip Kelly? How many games they win that year?
That's right. Two games. And everyone thought he was going to be an improvement over Jim Tomsula, who won 5.
Yeah.
They were like, hey, well, if Jim Tomsula won 5 games, they're going to win at least 8.
Yeah. No. So I'd say the Chip Kelly, I have to say, for me, and I was around that team for 37 years, the Chip Kelly was ludicrous. That year was ludicrous. And I have never seen a coach so hyped who was so bad. Iggy, how's he doing at UCLA?
He's just terrible, Dad. He's terrible. He's so bad. He's always worse than the guy he replaces. He's somehow worse than Jim Mora Jr., who wasn't so good. God, he's so bad. And it's like he was really bad at first. He took all of Jim Mora Jr.'s players and alienated them and made them leave. And then he rebuilt and had the youngest team in college football. So he lost first year, second year. And they're like, okay, but wait, you just wait until he gets his players and they're a little bit older. Still losing. So he just wastes everyone's time. And what his legacy is people pay him to go away. The Eagles paid him to go away. The Niners paid him to go away. UCLA is going to have to pay him to go away. And that's a big deal for a public institution. I'm sure he's the highest paid public servant in California. Go away, Chip. How many places are going to pay you to just leave? God, I hate that guy. I know it's unprofessional, but I used to like watching UCLA football. I went to that school. He made it. I can't watch it. Now I root against him because he's there. It's terrible. It's terrible. But yeah, most disappointing season. If the Niners win next week and they finish with 7 wins this year after Jimmy lasted 5 quarters and not that, you'd actually say it's kind of impressive.
Yes. If they end up 7-9, I'm going to say something really weird. If they end up 7-9, you could say Kyle did a good job.
Yeah, I mean, Robert Saleh certainly has done a good job. Yeah. Kyle, if he can end the season with wins over Arizona and Seattle while playing CJ, yeah, that's really good. That's really good.
And I have to tell you, I'm interested in this game. I'm really interested in what's going to happen.
Yes, absolutely. I think the most disappointing year for the Niners might have been 2014, that final year of Jim Harbaugh's team. I mean, it was still a good team. They went 8-8, and he got fired after an 8-8 year. I think no one saw that coming. I don't think anyone saw that coming. So that might have been disappointing. No one expected the Niners to fall apart that quickly. I think they thought Jim Harbaugh would be here a long time.
Also, it was disappointing and disheartening. Disheartening the way it went down between Jed and Harbaugh. It was disheartening.
Yeah, the fact that Jed York felt he needed to apologize for Jim Harbaugh, like mere months after Harbaugh had taken him to the NFC Championship game for the 3rd year in a row. Now you need to apologize for him? Wow. Okay. You got some real standards, Jed. Wow.
Iggy, when he apologized, that was that Thanksgiving night, right? Yeah. That was worse than when he ran out on the team this season.
Oh, my God. By 100 times worse.
That was one of the worst things I ever saw an owner do, and it spoke to the character of Jed then. Jed may be a better guy now. I have no way of knowing, but a person who could do that to his coaching staff and his players, not a good guy.
Right. You don't do that under any circumstances, but the fact was Harbaugh was the best thing that had ever happened to Jed. And Jed takes credit for building that stadium, which is a terrible stadium, but Harbaugh got that stadium built.
Yeah.
Jed wouldn't have gotten momentum to build a stadium if they weren't winning. Harbaugh made that team viable and interesting. And then he alienated. Thank goodness for him that he has an up and coming head coach that he found. I don't know if Mark Davis could have found Kyle Shanahan. Mark Davis is stuck with John Gruden. Mark Davis might be even worse than Jed York. Mark Davis, wow. But yeah, Jed, he's improved. Mark Davis, though, hey, what do you think of John Gruden, Dad?
What about what he did in the last game?
Mm-hmm. Tell me.
He's been in the league a long time. It's easier to get a field goal than a touchdown. What was he thinking of? He allowed these people to get back into position for a field goal. Score your touchdown, And then it's very hard to get a touchdown with that amount of time left. It's like he just entered the league that day.
Been around a long time. He's now in his third season here with the Raiders, and he's going to miss the playoffs for the third consecutive year. Most times, if you do that as a coach, you're fired. But they can't fire him because they gave him a lifetime contract or whatever. So good job, Mark. Or whatever.
In addition, Iggy, this is his third season and that he won't have a winning record.
He should get fired.
Yeah, and he has complete control over the roster and over the game planning. He has control over everything. Free agents, drafting, and in 3 years, he couldn't bring it together.
The team was better under Jack Del Rio, who's not exactly the greatest coach in the world. So what does that make John?
Yeah.
A fraud. Okay, we got one more question from Sean. $2.99 for Lowell's Pepto B after the Gallo. Eric Wright, Carlton Williamson, Ronnie Lott, Jeff Fuller, Dwight Hicks, Chet Brooks, Merton Hanks, Tim McDonald, Griffin, Deion Sanders, Eric Davis, Dante Whitner, Deshaun Goldson. That's a good list of Niners DBs throughout the
year. Whoa, yeah. Whoa. Thank you. Thank you, Sean.
Jason Barrett.
Dwight Hicks. Dwight Hicks used to live around the corner from me, and we would get at the same 7-Eleven in East Palo Alto. We'd get coffee, and we'd always see each other in the morning. He would head to practice, and I would head to practice a little later.
That is so funny. Hey, going to work? See you there.
I'll see you. Hi, Lowell. How you doing? I'll see you in a few minutes.
Thanks, Big Golden Nuggets. Appreciate you. Well, if you got any more questions, we can take them. Otherwise, we can end a little early and call each other and tell each other how good we did.
Hey, Iggy, we were really good today, right?
Right. I can't wait to call you and talk about how good we did. Okay, Kid Thrax says something. Saleh leaving to become a head coach means the Niners get a third-round draft pick as the new rule made last month. That's true. If a team has a minority coach who gets hired as a head coach, that team gets a third-round pick that year and the following year for developing and promoting a minority coach. Because they've been trying to incentivize teams to hire minority coaches. And the Rooney Rule doesn't work, right?
Okay.
It doesn't work. So now they're trying to incentivize teams to promote their own assistant, not hire, but to promote. So Saleh would technically get the Niners some draft picks. What they could do with that, I think Niner fans are hoping they'll trade up. But Dad, let me ask you real quick. I know you don't really know what's available in the draft, but would you rather, knowing what the Niners need, would you rather the Niners trade up or trade down in the upcoming draft?
Tell me what they have in the first round.
They have like the 15th pick right now.
Okay. At the 15th pick, could they get a really good quarterback?
Yeah, they could get a pretty talented quarterback at the 15th pick, yes.
I wouldn't trade down then. What about you?
I think I would trade down. I like the quarterbacks they could get when they trade down, and they need more needs than just quarterback. They need offensive line. They need corners. They need safeties. They need a lot of stuff.
They don't need corners so much anymore.
Well, that's true. Verrett's a free agent. Witherspoon's a free agent. If they re-sign him, then they don't need corner as much. Yes, they do need offensive line.
Oh, Iggy, what do they have in the second round?
They got about 45th, 46th, something like that. I don't know.
So you would trade the first for a couple of picks and maybe one in the second.
But I really like this one quarterback from Florida who people don't think is a top 20 pick right now, and I think I'm the smartest guy in the room on this one. So maybe I'm wrong. Maybe.
I'm not competent to answer that question.
Yeah, it's a tough one. We tried.